What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project, the Pagani Huayra. This is a fantastic hypercar. Absolutely love this one. Absolutely insane engine. It's got a beast of a V12 in it. Look at that. It has got a lot going on there. Pretty insane. We are going to pit, obviously, performance parts all over it. This is going to be a good speed run. We're going to find out what speed we can get this up to. There's not really much we can do with the looks on this one today. There isn't too much in the store. Let's just have a quick look. Oh, yeah. DLC. In here. Pagani Huayra. Not any options. Just straight up like-for-like replacements and all of them. Nothing wrong with that, though. We're going to find some cool paint. We're going to make this look as cool as we can. Although it doesn't look very dirty right now, it probably is. So let's send it over to the car wash and start this up by getting it cleaned off. Here we are then at the car wash with the Huayra. Let's get it cleaned. What little's left of this body anyway, because it is quite empty at the moment. Still looking quite nice though. Let's get this interior done and then we'll get it back on the lift and get that V12 ripped out. And then we'll start stripping it down. Look at this belly pan, completely flat, all carbon fibre. There is an oil pan in there, so I'm going to get this oil drain done now. Let's move you over and get you drained out before we start stripping the gearbox. Now, this is rear-wheel drive, so I'm going to have to take them rear drive axles off to be able to get the gearbox out of this one. So let's crack on. Let's get involved. I'm going to start getting this stripped. There we go then. Got the rear drive axles off. Now got to get this starter off. Probably some of this exhaust as well, but let's get the gearbox out and then we'll have a look at the exhaust system and see what's going on here. So that has to be removed from the engine bay. In fact, the whole lot has to be removed from the engine bay, so that doesn't matter. We'll bring the car down and we'll do it there. Ideal. I'm going to move the crane over. There we go. Straight off. Just had to go in a weird angle. Pull the engine out. Nice and simple. Thank you very much. Let's get the crane put away. Let's start tearing this body down now. I don't know what's here, so I'm going to crack on with this. It might take me a couple of moments to make sure I found everything. But I'll be honest, that could have probably have been it. I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to just have a mooch around here, see if I can find anything else, and I'll get that interior out as well. And next up, we'll get that engine bay sorted. I'll see you in a moment. Pretty confident I got everything off the body there. Looking pretty sweet. But now we've got to get what's in this engine bays, both front and back, clear. I can see there's a lot of liquids in here that I need to drain. So I'm going to crack on and get the liquids drained. See, with the magic of television, I'll see you in a moment. That's all the liquids drained. Let's get on and start clearing this engine bay. We've obviously got the fuel reservoirs, or the reservoirs at the front here, and the radiator fan. There are a few bits at the back, so let's jump down there and have a look. I did already get all the liquids out this power steering reservoir, so we don't have to worry about that. Couple of air filters, a battery. There's our lovely fuse box. But we've first of all got to get this ABS module off before we get into that. Come on, little car. Not so little car. Inside of the fuse box. Quite a lot going on there. So I'm going to get this stripped. Next up, we're going to get all the suspension off before we tear down that beautiful V12. Let's jump into the front suspension. Let's get this first wheel off and have a look. Double wishbone. At least this one's got a steering rack and a sway bar in it, so it's going to be relatively stable. Double wishbone with a shock front and back as well by the looks of it. Yeah, pretty simple on this one. Let's just start getting it stripped down before we jump over and get that engine done. Here we go then, the Pagani down to its bare frame, but we've got to go and strip that beautiful V12, so let's head over there. I think I had a battery on me, so yeah, let's get that charged en route. And let's get this engine on here and start tearing this one down, because it is insane. I love the look of this engine. Let's just start stripping it down and see what we've got here. A few bolts. I've not done this one before, so I've got no idea what I'm doing. So let's just keep going and see where we end up. Obviously, I don't want to keep you guys here for the full length of the video, so let's just break down a few bits and see where we end up. This top section of the engine's a bit of a beast. There's a lot going on here. They just float on. Luckily, they're just 4 bolts. That's not too bad. And then we're up to the engine heads and these coil packs. This is an insane engine. All the spark plugs. We'll come back to that in a minute. Turbocharger on the manifold straight away. That's pretty sweet. Get you off. Let's start with some belts and tensioners. So, I mean, we all pretty know what's going on with this front section, so I'm just going to start tearing this down before we get into the insides of these headers here. I'll catch you in a minute. Here we are then. I've got both the heads off and the timing cover under here. Now I'm just trying to figure out where we can go next. Oh, there we go. Extra timing covers on the top here, so let's get these off. Let's have a look. Obviously, we can see we got timing chains running through here, but how do I get to them? Timing gear. Now can I take the chain off? Thank you. And the gears. Cracking. And then I should be able to get into here. So there's one camshaft either side by the looks of that with some caps. So let's get these off. That's all the caps off. Now let's get this camshaft off and let's have a look. And then hopefully, yes, we can just take the engine head straight off. That's ideal. A little bit easier than I thought. I'm going to crack on and get this side done. And then that's pretty much it. I'll get the rest of the innards, you know, all of the pistons out and things like that. And I'll meet you back by the car when we get that frame sorted. Engine all stripped down. It's time to get this frame sorted. So let's grab the welder. Move it over to the car. Let's get this one sorted out before we get the body all back on. 2,750. I mean, it was only at like 2% or something like that. It was very, very low, so I do get it. Let's get this one put away. Now, I'm going to go on and get the body back together. I think I've only managed to repair one part, and I think that was one of the doors. Was it this one? No, it must have been the other door. So I need to go and buy all the panels, apart from that one door. So I'm going to get that done, then we'll get the body back together before we head over to the paint shop. What colour would you guys paint it? Let me know in the comments down below. All back together, looking absolutely fantastic. I do love the look of these Huayras. Absolutely stunning Pagani. And I've got my virtual mechanic Huayra plate on it. And also all the Huayra interior is in there. Looking absolutely fantastic. But let's head over to the paint shop and pick which colour we're going to go for. Did you guys pick? What did you choose? I'd love to know. Let's head over. Here we are then. I went for this pearl yellow, accentuated against the carbon fibreness of the rest of this car, all the blacks in carbon fibre. And the livery for the Italian flag running down the middle. Absolutely stunning. Very, very happy with this. Kind of unsure what we're going to do with that engine though. Probably just black most of it out, maybe some yellow covers on there, maybe some of the dark chrome finishes. I'm thinking about black wheels as it stands at the moment, because I think yellow would be too much, and because you've got black under here and black all around, I think it will look really nice with some black rims, but I'm not sure as it stands at the moment. Try and get yellow on the brake calipers, maybe a little bit of yellow in the suspension as well. I'd love to be able to get a carbon fibre finish on all of them parts underneath. I'd make all of that carbon fibre if I could. We may just have to black it out or dark chrome it out or something along them lines. We will see when we get there. I've got to do some suspension painting now and some engine painting. Next up, though, we're going to get it all back on the car and see how good it looks in whatever colour I've chosen. I'll see you there in a little while. So I've got everything painted. Let's have a look at these shocks. Now, I did the actual shocks in the pearl yellow with the springs in this pearl red, which I think looks really great. Does look a bit gold on there, though, which isn't exactly the colour I was going for, but it is still pretty sweet. It's looking pretty good. Let's get it on the car. Now, the other bits painted on the underside of the car are all pretty much in a dark chrome colour. That's what I've gone for today. The engine itself as well is pretty much dark chrome with a lot of that pearl yellow. Well, not a lot, but some of that pearl yellow splashed in there just for effect. Now, I really like this dark chrome colour. I think it comes out really well. I'm hoping it's going to look great with these shocks. Hopefully, because it does match the top. That's pretty sweet. Happy with how that looks at the minute. Just got to get to the brake calipers. Now, not really that they're that important today because they are just in black. Because the yellow wouldn't go on them without looking like baby poo brown. And the chrome colour won't go on there. It just looks too dull. Very, very boring, very bland and plain. So I did just go for a chrome black. Still looks pretty sweet. Happy with how that turned out. I'm going to get the rest of this front end finished. And then we'll move on to the back and we'll see what colours we got going in there and how that looks when it's all together. See you in a minute. Front end is all finished, looking pretty sweet. Now for the rear. Now I've got some some yellow axle knuckle housings. They're looking pretty sweet. Hopefully, well, with the dark chrome we've got going on here and the rear suspension pieces. Hopefully it's all going to look good together. Let's get it all on. Let's see how it looks. Moving on to the shocks. I love that yellow and red combo. I think it looks absolutely sweet. Very happy with that. Let's just get to the brakes. Then I'll get the other side done and we compare it all together very quickly. Before we do that engine bay, now obviously we can't put the rear axles in because they're connected to the gearbox, being rear wheel drive. So that's it for here. I'm going to get the other side done. I really do like it. I think it looks pretty sweet. I'm going to get the other side done and then we'll move on and get the engine bay sorted. Get all of them reservoirs in and then filters back in and get this car almost ready to go before we go and build that beautiful V12 engine. I'll see you in a minute. There's all the suspension all finished up with the yellows, the red and the dark chromes in there, along with the black as well on the brake calipers. Looking pretty sweet. I do like it, but we have to get this engine bay sorted out next. So let's get all of these reservoirs back in. Hopefully I've bought everything. I know what I haven't done though is I haven't picked up the battery, wherever that lives. I can't really remember. So I'm going to have to come back to that one a little bit later on. Probably when I throw the engine back in, I'll jump back into that. But never mind. Let's get the rest of this finished. That's everything in the front end. Let's move on to the back. Let's get these filters back in looking pretty nice. They are actually sat under some covers, which I will show you in a bit. Looking pretty cool. ABS pump, ABS module. Let's get you back on. And then we should just have the battery and the fuse box to go. Obviously, the battery I can't do because I've left it on charge. So let's get in. I'm going to get this fuse box finished. Then we'll move on and we'll have a look at that glorious engine. I can't wait to get that one built. Hopefully, it looks incredible. I'm happy with what I've done. So I will meet you over there in just a little while. Picked up my battery, dropped it in. Obviously, the fuse box being in yellow hidden behind there, which you can't see when it's closed, but it still looks pretty sweet. And obviously, these are the boxes I was telling you about that the air filters fit into. It does look like there should be a third, so I'm just going to go in and double check. No, it does look like there should be one there. Maybe something else lives under there, I'm not sure, but it is pretty cool they live in that housing. Next up, though, let's go and get that engine built. Now, I'm going to start with this, obviously, with the engine base. Now, this is in a dark chrome color. Not quite black, but it is very, very dark. So I'm going to get on and get the underside of this finished because there is no color in here. We all know how the pistons and all the rod caps and stuff go on. So I'm just going to get on and get this finished. I'll meet you back here when I've got a bit more of this done and we can see a bit more of the color on this engine. I'll see you in a little while. The block is finished. The engine heads are on. 24 spark plugs are in this vehicle. Absolutely incredible. Never seen that many spark plugs in one vehicle. But let's get a little bit of this on while we're here, just while we stopped, just to show how many spark plugs are on this. Because I do love this engine. It looks absolutely incredible. So I'm going to crack on and get a few bits. This intake manifold here, this is in the dark chrome color. Looking absolutely stunning. We haven't made it to any of the yellows yet. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to get a bit more done. I want to get this cover on here. This cover is in yellow. It does look pretty sweet when it's on and everything's back on it. So let's jump over. Let's move forward a little bit in time to the next part. I'll see you there now. All the spark plugs in, the camshafts are in, the chains are on. Let's have a look. This timing cover, as I said before, is in the yellow. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Obviously, these are in the dark chrome, but it only shows up on the inside and a little bit under here. So they just look silver on the outside. So I did these covers in the dark chrome. They do look a bit black, if I'm being honest. But, you know, I still think it looks pretty good. Water pump is in the chrome as well. Very dark. The rest that's just down here is pulleys and belts. So I'll crack on and get that finished in a little bit. This head cover is in the pale yellow. These screws take a long time to do up because they're quite long. So let's just skip over that. As you can see, both engine covers or head covers there in that pearl yellow, looking lovely. Now this is in a dark chrome, but it is slightly lighter than the rest of it just because of how it looked. This is in a yellow, but this pearl red still stays on there. It's only these little tips that change to yellow, as you can just about see there. Looking great. This throttle is just in the dark chrome. Doesn't need screwing either, but this manifold cover is in the pearl yellow. Now, it does originally start in a goldy yellow, but because I've changed it, it is a little bit different. This item can't be painted, which is unfortunate, but it looks absolutely great. And then we've got the carbon fibre covers that sit on top of these that I have also painted the top bits here in that pearl yellow. Looking absolutely fantastic. It looks great. I've got a few more bits to get on and finish with this engine, so I'm going to crack on, and I'll meet you back by the car when we're ready to drop this one in. I'll see you there in just a moment. There's that beautiful V12 completely finished. Looking absolutely stunning. Think it looks great. Let's get it dropped into the Pagani. Let's get it off the stand here. Over you come. Let's get it dropped in. Hopefully we can have a peek at how it looks underneath there. The weird clamshell covers, oh, they're not weird, they're pretty cool, but they do make it a bit harder to see the engines. It's going to make my photo locations a bit harder a little bit later on, but it is looking fantastic. And that pearl yellow, it is very similar to the car, so that looks great. Also, the darker colours, they're carbon fibre, so they match all the carbon fibre in there. That looks fantastic. This is actually my new favourite engine. Only suitable for this car. I may try and do a config and drop this absolute monster in something else a bit later on. That might be a quite fun thing to do. Anyway, next up, we need to get these wheels sorted. I'm probably not going to change them too much, but we will see. And I definitely think they're going to look great in black. So they are going to be blacked out, or at least dark chromed. I'll meet you back in a few moments. So, me being the complete idiot that I am, forgot that you can't put the wheels on until you've got the gearbox in this rear-wheel drive car. So let's get the gearbox in and get them drive axles back on and the starter back on. In fact, let's get the exhaust system back in as well while we're here, that I can't reach from right now because I need to do it from the engine bay. Anyway, I'll do that one in a moment. Let's get these rear axles back on, if I could reach it. There we go. And hopefully get the wheels back on this car. I think that is everything in here done now. That looks absolutely incredible. The starter, obviously, in the pearl yellow, looking great. I need to go up and get into the engine bay. Let's get that exhaust system in. And before we get the wheels on, have tinted all of the windows. 100% for the back and the sides, and then 85% for the windscreen there. Let's get that clamshell opened, and let's try and get this exhaust system in. I am in the engine bay. That's annoying. Let's try that again. Why would that not let me? There we go. Now it will. Very bizarre at the moment going on with these. That exhaust looks absolutely incredible. Excellent. Now I'm going to get the wheels on. The next time you see this car, it'll be outside in the sun. Finished. I'll see you out there in just a few moments. Just to let you know, on the Huayra, you can't fill up the oil. Just get the noise. Without taking off the covers. And this, I believe, let's just double check. Yeah, and this intercooler set as well. Had to take all of that off to fill up the oil. I was aware of something like that, but I had forgotten which car it was in. So I'm going to fill up the oil now, get all of that back together. Then the car will be outside. See you in a moment. Here we are then with the Pagani Huayra. Absolutely stunning vehicle, all finished, looking great. Now for the rims, obviously you've got the Huayra front and Huayra rear rims. Absolutely wonderful looking. I've done them in the same dark chrome. In fact, a little bit darker than the dark chrome inside the engines because they come out quite light on the wheels. Still looking very good though. The rears here are 21 inches, which is up 1 inch from the 20 that comes on standard, with a 335 width and a 25 profile, which I shaved a little bit off for the increase in the wheel size. And the fronts are start as a 19, or these are 20, so I've gone up one size there as well, with a 255 width and a 30 profile, which is again down 5 from the standard. I think it really looks pretty sweet. It's not bright enough and in your face that it takes away. They're not like fully chromed out like that, but they're just dark enough that they blend in with the vehicle. I think it looks absolutely great. And obviously this engine that you can't really see from here, which is such a shame. I wish the clamshell just opened up a little bit more so that you could see in there properly, because it looks absolutely stunning in there. As we've seen, it is beautiful. I love that engine. Anyway, I mean, this car is just absolutely stunning. It is all completely finished now. All the liquids are topped up, and these beautiful gull wing doors, don't tell Mercedes, absolutely stunning. But let's jump in this one and see how it sounds. Is that a cup holder in the middle of the seat? Very peculiar. I hope that is not actually a cup holder, but I don't know why else it would be there. Anyway, let's get this one started up. Now that's a lovely sound. Gotta love a V12. And then twin turbos with that turbo boost. That sounds absolutely gorgeous. I love how that sounds. Let's get it on the dyno and see what it can do. Here we are then with the Pagani Huayra on the dyno. 721 starting horsepower from this V12. We put performance parts in it today. What have we squeezed out of this one? An additional 595 horsepower, a gain of 83%, pitting us up to 1,315 horsepower. That's pretty good. Let's see if we can get a new top 10 speed on the track with this Pagani. See you over there in a second. Here we are then at the track with the Huayra. We need to beat 450 to get into the top 10. How will this 1315 horsepower Pagani do? Let's go. Very spinny there early on. Let's see if we can keep it straight all the way down the track. Seeming pretty good so far. There's the 400 kilometers. There's the 450. We're definitely in top 10. We're dragging and scraping. Don't know what's happening there. Can we get to 500? Oh, not quite. 499 kilometers an hour. That's very good. Here we are then for the final time with the Pagani Huayra. Absolutely stunning car. 499 kilometers an hour. Definitely did put it in the top 10. It pits it 7th, knocking the Holden effigy from the last episode down 1 place to 8th. What a shame. But I love this. This has been a lot of fun to work on, a lot of fun to build, and a lot of fun to make. I love this clamshell design, how it all opens up. You can easily access the frame and everything. Absolutely stunning, and I do love that interior. It is a beautiful, but let's do some facts and figures about this Pagani. Now, I spent 90,507 buying this one. I didn't get ripped off. I was a bit under profit, so very happy with that. 75,724 is what we spent on parts today, pitting our total spend at 166,231. But the real question is how much can we sell this absolutely beast of a hypercar for? Let's have a look. Only 24,000 kilometers on this one. Very low mileage. Now with 1,315 horsepower. Incredible. Very happy with that. And a sale price of 452,724. That's incredible. Let's take away 166,231. Leaves our total profit at 286,493, which is amazing. Very good profit on this Pagani. Time to say goodbye. Won't boost us up to 21 million. We sort of sat around the 20 million mark for a while. We should really go over it soon, but there we go. Off you go, Pagani Huayra. You were a lot of fun. Up next, we have an electric car. This is the Atom 3300. Absolutely stunning vehicle. This is my own variation. The Virtual Mechanic slammed variation. Lowered it to the floor, almost touching in some places. Doesn't quite touch. Absolutely stunning example. A few other things I've done to it is I have increased the amount of batteries. It did just have a deck of 9, 3x3. I've added 2 additional rows of batteries and 2 additional batteries up here. They don't make the engine faster on their own, as I learned on Discord after annoying some people. I do apologize. But when you add an extra, I think it's 2% per battery to the horsepower, this is going to be quite fast. Looking forward to getting this one done. Inspiration for this was sort of like the Model S Plaid Edition, which is going to be a very fast electric car. Well, is a very fast electric car. I have seen someone LS swap one, so maybe we'll do that in the future. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you back on Monday with this lovely build. I hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.